Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss the topic: Is democracy the best form of government? First of all, let me define the term democracy. As famously said by Abraham Lincoln, democracy is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. The citizens are given the opportunity to choose who rules over them, and often each vote counts equally. This provides people with birth, liberty, and equality, which are highly regarded values. The four pillars of democracy are impartiality, representation, liberty, and justice.
In practice, democracy is not as straightforward and peaceful as the ideal of democracy would suggest. The faith placed in people might backfire on society, as people might not have sufficient political knowledge and experience to make decisions that would benefit themselves and society as a whole.
Yeah, this can be a problem, but this problem might be solved by providing effective political education in schools and beyond. Secondly, we might not be capable of choosing the most beneficial government. We need to keep making these decisions in order to learn from our mistakes, so that as a whole, society can progress. If we can keep analyzing the mistakes in our voting behavior, the government can keep improving, which will lead to governments that are increasingly successful in the future.
Already existing politicians bring their kids or children to power through elections. How is that different from hereditary rulers in the previous era?
Any democratic country conducts election, and in democracy, everyone has the right to become a representative. But this is just an ideal situation in real life. It is not as simple as we think. Already existing leaders and representatives, those who have power, can easily participate in elections, and they can make participation easier for those whom they know. Nowadays, participation in elections needs a huge amount of money, and this is one of the biggest threats at the first level of democracy.
This looks perfect on paper, but in reality, politicians don't work for the people. They work for the big corporates who will give donation to their party. Democracy is not for the people, but for a few dominant groups of people.
Yes, you are right, but this all comes under corruption. And corruption is a part of human nature. But if they continue to work for corporates, people will identify them and no one will give vote to their party, and they will be voted out in the next election.
Political party can win just by polarizing the majority in their favor. They divide the people on the basis of religion, caste, ethnicity, or anything that divides people.
Democracy has constraints and credible commitment to limit wild swing in policies. Collective decision making ensures that we are more often correct than being wrong. Recently, populist and extremist parties might have gained some ground in some democracy, but overall find difficult to form government on own. If in coalition, they have to compromise constraints by coalition partners and pay price in next election. Most of the time, median voters are the one who decides the fate of election, and median voters are more moderate and more tolerant.
Sir, we can see that non-democratic countries like China are performing much better economically than democratic countries. In the 1980s, India and China were equal in terms of GDP, and in 2020, China has almost 5 times the GDP of India.
This is one of the major criticisms of democracy. Firstly, yes, economic growth is hindered by the democracy because democracy is very inefficient and the decision making process is time taking. This inefficiency acts as checks and balances. If a government wants to take bad decision, then this slowness of government stops him from doing it, and good decisions also get delayed. So inefficiency is the cost of saving us from big blunders. Secondly, you can observe that autocracies that do not export large quantities of fossil fuels tend to be poor. No such country enjoys GDP per capita of more than 15,000 international dollar. Democratic countries are richer. The exception are fossil fuel exporters. Thirdly, we see that few autocratic countries enjoy child mortality rates under 10 per thousand. In contrast, democracies scoring 7 or more often enjoy child mortality rates below 10 or even 5 per thousand. We can say that people in democracies are healthier. Fourthly, countries with high democracy scores tend also to have high human right protection scores. Indeed, except for Singapore and Oman, every country whose human right protection score exceeds 0.5 has a democracy score is a democracy. That means democracies are better at protecting human rights.
Most of the richer democratic countries were not democratic themselves during their economic takeoff. How can they expect other countries to be democratic? Do they want to grow themselves at the expense of developing countries?
The most developed and richest countries are all democracies. While they may well have been developing their democracies during their initial industrialization, democracy and the freedom it brings is increasingly necessary for economic growth. Once the country has moved to being mostly dependent upon services rather than manufacturing or natural resource exploitation for their economic growth. Once this occurs, then creativity becomes very important, and the freedom associated with democracy are needed to foster this creativity that is needed for industries such as information technology, creative arts, research and development, etc.
Another issue with democracy in practice is that an elected body hardly ever follows up on the promise made in their campaign.
Surely, the promises that get them elected are of course aimed at gaining support, and often leaders are not sure of what is feasible before entering office. However, surely it is not fair of the ruling body to not fulfill the promises they were elected for. This is a recurring flaw in the democratic form of government, and one solution that is often put forward is to hold referendums, which is when citizens vote on political issues. On the one hand, referendums allow for the public to voice their opinion beyond government elections and would ensure that government continues to act according to the people's wishes. However, in practice, this only perpetuates the problem of insufficient political knowledge for people to fully participate in politics.
If there is so much criticism of democracy, then why have so much countries have shifted towards democracy?
It is true that there is so much criticism of democracy, but we must not forget that democratic government is a legitimate government. It may be slow, less efficient, not always very responsive or clean, but a democratic government is people's own government. That is why there is overwhelming support for the idea of democracy all over the world. Today, more than half of the world's population live in a democracy, and of those who still live in autocracies, 4/5 are Chinese. People wish to be ruled by representatives elected by them. As a democratic government is people's own government, they believe that democracy is suitable for their country as it is a legitimate government. Democracy's ability to generate its own support is itself an outcome that cannot be ignored. Accountability is checked in democracy, and governments are less corrupt.
In conclusion, we can say that democracy is the best form of government, mostly because of its strong philosophical basis. Democracy places the right level of faith in humanity, gives us autonomy to choose who rule us, and respects our rights of freedom and equality. The political argument for democracy is also the soundest. Although democracy can be improved and still faces many flaws, it is more functional than dictatorial forms of government. Democracy is important for individual, social and political welfare and is therefore the best form of government.
So, overall, we can say that practical democracy is more problematic than democracy in theory, but is still sound enough for democracy to be the best form of government. We can improve it through digital elections using blockchain technology or other new inventions. So, hope for the best and vote in your next election.